Hey, it's Russ from the Infectious Group Podcast coming at you again to talk about some of the rare pressings and stuff that we have down here that we enjoy listening to all the time. Take a quick second to say, as always, if you're not listening to the Infectious Group Podcast, you probably should be. Go to your podcast platform, whatever you're already listening on. Look for Infectious Group Podcast. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out everything we've done all the way back to season 1. And make sure for this video that you are subscribed to this channel. If you like this video, please leave us a comment. Any of your thoughts on the record I'm going to cover here, any of your thoughts on the other records that I've already covered in other videos, anything that you want us to cover in the future, by all means, let us know. We'll get a video cranked out and get that information to you. Having said all of that, we are going to talk today about a very rare pressing, a very sought after pressing, and a underrated masterpiece all in one. I'm going to talk a little bit today about Van Halen Balance, which, if you know Van Halen on vinyl, you know that this is the hardest record to come by of all the original Van Halen records. Again, victim of its times. Came out in 1995. Vinyl was near dead or dead completely in the US, so it never really got the push that it deserved or the pressing number that it deserved. Edward Van Halen having recently passed away, I don't want to go into too much of the ugly, dirty laundry, but if you're a Van Halen fan, you probably know that there was a lot of bad blood between this lineup, the lineup that recorded this record, all the way through till the end of Edward's life. And so there really has been a drought of all of that Sammy era material and things including Michael Anthony for that matter. So that all of those things together make a perfect storm of this being the hardest Van Halen record to find. I would say second to it is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. A lot of the same reasons have to do with that, but For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge came out earlier in the 90s, had a bigger run, so it's a little easier to find. But this is the one. This is the one that's hard to find. Now, one thing about this record that can't be overstated is how underrated this album is. This is a masterwork that I don't think gets anywhere near the love that it should among Van Halen fans. That from the word go, I think The Seventh Seal is one of the best opening tracks on any Van Halen record. When you talk about ballads, which Sammy was really known for, writing a fantastic ballad with Van Halen. I mean, he came to the table with gems like Why Can't This Be Love and Love Walks In, and then later on When It's Love. There's songs on here like Not Enough that are stunningly good ballads musically and lyrically, and the vocals that Sammy cuts on them are fantastic. There were a couple of hits off of here. I want to say probably the song most people remember this record for would be Can't Stop Loving You. The first single off the record is one of the greatest Van Halen forward rockin' songs that there is. Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do is on this record. There's some weird moments. You've got, and I want to make sure I pronounce this right, but I believe the instrumental on here is called Bufucha Therium, I think is how I heard it pronounced when Edward was talking about it when it was recorded. Just kind of a strange, artsy track. Think the song 1984, the actual title cut, but more with an acoustic guitar and Ed kind of playing with pedals and whatnot. But that, tracks like Feelin' and Not Enough and Take Me Back, just crazy underrated Van Halen material. Two things that make this record collectible. One is the scarcity of it, and two, the more Van Halen fans that go back and give it a chance and maybe dig into it a little more, the more they're like, wow, I really slept on that record and I should have really checked it out. And so those two things together, I think, add up to it getting to be more of an expensive record and something that just continues to grow in value. I do think that since Edward passed, we probably will see reissues of that Sammy Hagar era. So now this is total speculation. This is nothing, not newsworthy. Please don't take this as a news source. It's my feeling that that is what's going to happen going forward. So we will hopefully see a reissue of this eventually. There's a couple other Van Halen records that were never released on vinyl. Van Halen 3 with Gary Cherone, the fantastic live record with Sammy Hagar from the tour before this, the Live Right Here, Right Now was never pressed on vinyl. I think that we're going to see all those in the future. As far as the actual record goes, not a lot to report on, to be honest. Very plain Jane, 120 gram pressing, very mid 90s quality control here. Just the regular Warner Brothers label. If you look at something that came out later, like A Different Kind of Truth by Van Halen, they put a little more time into that. But again, that was released during the vinyl resurgence. But very plain Jane Warner Brothers label. But still not lacking. It's not just a white label or anything. For the inners, you get this guy here, just a picture of all four guys at the time. For anybody who remembers when this record came out, this was kind of a shocker. Everybody was stunned to see Eddie Van Halen with short hair for the first time ever, so I just kind of remember that. That was probably the first thing everybody noticed about this picture. Then you just have very tiny print for the lyrics. But again, Sammy wrote his ass off on this record. What he was going through personally really shines through in the lyrics of this album. So if you do get a pressing and you can find this inner with it, really take the time to take a look at those lyrics because they are fantastic. So once again, make sure you like the channel, make sure you subscribe, watch. We're racking up videos now. Make sure you watch a bunch of other videos. Even if you're not interested in the artist, you might find out something interesting about the pressing itself. So what we were talking about here today, the rarest of all Van Halen records, Van Halen Balance.